This is Elder Blacklight. Been a long time since we last talked and you viewed my videos. It's been 3 months. This is part 2, Jesus Justice. We made a little adjustments to the title, Judge Jesus Justice, Breaking the Cross. There's been a whole lot of trickery going on since Israel took over Gaza, Palestine. They're knocking on the doors of Africa. We're talking about Egypt. Egypt is Africa. And a lot of people got killed. So we're going to talk about that, how they manipulate what you watch, what you can watch. On YouTube and regular TV, what they talk about on TV is all scripted. It's all trickery. And how my people keep falling for, how you keep falling for it, I don't know, man. It's something deep. I can't understand it. And some of you are old as me or older. This is Blacklight, Elder Blacklight. I'm 77 years on this planet. My birthday is coming up next month, July the 28th. So I would like to acknowledge my age. I'll be 78. And all is well so far. So I write my own music. The last theme song I had was Supreme Wisdom. And I'm going to call this one Paradise. Because the aim is for us to have heaven on earth. Another name for heaven is paradise, while we live. But they want you to die, but you don't know what's going to happen when you die. No one came back from the dead to tell you. Now, I often told you this about myself. I don't know how old I was. I might have been about 4 or 5. They were operating on my bronchial tubes, taking out my adenoids or my tonsils, and my heart stopped beating. They couldn't get my heart to beat. My mother, my father, and my grandmother were downstairs in the waiting room. This was a small hospital, and the family doctor was Caucasian. And I remember it. I remember what happened. And they I don't know if it was an out of body experience, but I actually seen the doctors go downstairs to where my mother and father was at. They were sweating in a panic. Says I have stopped breathing for several hours, but they working on it. Not several hours, but several minutes. Yeah, I know that would be a miracle. But they're working on it. And as you see, they were successful. Or else I wouldn't be talking to you right now. I know it's hard for y'all to believe. I remember what I was seeing when I was being operated on. I don't know what my dream is really talking about, but I remember going through a tunnel. Let me get this theme song up about paradise. As I was saying, I was going through a tunnel. And at the end of the tunnel, it was a light, like I heard many people describe it. But now I'm only 4 years old. And I remember it. I'm 77 going on 78. And I remember it. When I got to the light, I fell in a jousting arena. I seen what I thought was myself as a grown person. I don't know if I was the black knight or the white knight though, because the helmet was covering my face. And we came at each other. Then I woke up. When I woke up, I seen the doctors sweating, wiping sweat from their foreheads. Then after that, after I survived that operation, my grandmother told me and my mother told me that I was down for over 20 minutes. But later on in life, my mother-in-law She stopped breathing. She had a stroke or something, and she was out for about 20 minutes, but she was brain dead. So I told my mother, I said, Mom, I say, remember when I stopped breathing, I was being operated on? And my mother said, yeah. I say, well, my mother-in-law, she's brain dead. So I couldn't have been out for that long, what y'all say. And they all said I was out for a long time. They said I had died, came back. And ever since then, things was happening to me. It seemed like I couldn't die. That I should have been dead, but as you see, I'm here. I'm not gonna go through the whole scenario about a guy pulling a gun, putting it to my head, and it wasn't an automatic. It was a revolver, and the gun it didn't go off. The bullets didn't go off. And in '81, I had a hemorrhage in my stomach. I couldn't stand up. Every time I stood up, I went out because I was bleeding internally. They put the wrong type blood in me. I survived that. Other times, I went to sleep with the gas on all night. I was living in an apartment building. And a friend of mine came to visit me. I smelled the gas and was knocking on the door, but I wasn't waking up. So he went down to the manager. She came up with a skeleton key, an alternate key. And they came in, opened the windows up. And just things like that was happening. So it's meant for me to be talking to you, Black people, and I know some Caucasians watching, trying to see what I'm about. But I was born into the Nation of Islam. Actually born into it. My mother was going when she was carrying me in her stomach. And later on she signed up. But when I was 7 years old, she stopped going, attending, and went back to eating pork, went back to the uncivilized lifestyle. So if you're fortunate enough to hear what I'm about to say, it might save your life for what's coming up. Because what's happening in Gaza only happens through the permission of the Almighty God, Allah. Some of y'all hate to hear that word Allah, but that's the original language of the slaves that came over here, or prisoners of war that came over here over 400 years ago. And they went through a Holocaust 10 times worse than what the Jews say they went through. Because why is that? We were stripped of our language, our culture, the knowledge of God and ourselves. couldn't read or write for 400 years. So now with this knowledge, and we still, Martin Luther King marched, we had various, what they call the civil rights movement, and, various things happening up until this point, black men getting killed, eating ice cream, opening the door, answering the door, riding in the car, walking down the street, jogging. And there's no accountability. And yet still, here in Detroit, Biden just came to the NAACP, and all these Negroes are voting for a democratic system, because they paid and bought for it. Every black organization, the Nation of Islam, the Panthers, the NAACP, every black organization has been infiltrated. And all those black people in the churches, even the Nation of Islam, that's when the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was on the scene. And not when Master Farad Muhammad was on the scene. But in 1975, when he left the scene, talking about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, his son, Wafdi Muhammad, sold that, all the farms, the schools, changed the name, denounced his own father, denounced Allah, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad. Now that's some deep stuff right there. And y'all, after going through all of that, white man shooting Martin Luther King, killing him. After going through all that, you watched them gun down their own presidents, like Kennedy, Lincoln. Well, you didn't watch Lincoln. You weren't back that far, but you heard about it. And they call us non-civilized. They call us a savage. They call us animals. When I say us, I'm talking about the black man. They call us niggas. Any name they can think of, they call us. And when you compare to what it says in the Bible, when you compare that, what Jesus said about the Jews, many of y'all call Jesus God, and you see all throughout, especially in the New Testament, where the Jews were disobedient to God, to Supreme Being. And they wanted to murder Jesus at birth. And then later on, they tried to assassinate him or kill him. Then they said they killed him. And who was in on that? It was the Romans and the Jews. And they just got through bombing the hell out of Palestine, the birthplace of Jesus. It's not on the news as prevalent as it was a couple of weeks ago. They focusing on the election. And they put up for the black people to watch, to get their mind off of their troubles. They put up rappers, you know, who killed Biggie, who killed Tupac, Puffy on trial. But don't forget that they got an investigation into Biden, saying he sold out to the Chinese. Don't forget that Donald Trump said he's down with Israel. You know, and he was hanging out with Epstein. So both of them is gangsters under suspect. Matter of fact, the whole white race, in my book, you ain't got to think like me. But after all what I've seen and heard of and the history of them misusing and abusing the Indians, everywhere they go, bloodshed and wars. I don't trust none of them. I don't trust the Russians. You know, I don't trust anyone, black person, that vote for any politician, Republican or Democrat. I don't trust none of them. So we over here in America. They call it the land of the free. Well, what does that really mean? Proverbs verse 22 verse 7. The rich ruleth over the poor. The borrower is servant to the lender. This is in the Bible. Your preachers, you know, they don't talk about stuff like what I talk about. Land of the free means that you're free to do anything that God says don't do. You're free to do it. If you don't commit adultery, you're free to commit adultery when you live in America. You know, man don't lie with man. Woman don't lie with woman. You're free to do that over here in America. Matter of fact, a man can marry a man. A woman can marry a woman in America. All this is against God. And this is what Jesus was telling you. Jesus was telling you that He was trying to civilize the Jews. He was sent to the Jews. Jesus was sent to the Jews. A black man sent to the Jews. He was a prophet of God. And the Jews tried to kill him. They've been trying to kill the black man off for a long time. But it's hard for them to kill the original Asiatic black man. It's hard for them. It's hard for them to kill us. That's a tune I wrote. You know, it's really two songs in one. Paradise. I want paradise while I'm living. I want for my brother what I want for myself. I want for myself what I want for my brother. Any way you slice it, this the way it's supposed to be. I don't want to see nobody in jeopardy. I want everything to be smooth. I don't want to be an African. I don't want American attached to me at all, because it is not nothing. It's not nothing but snakes in the White House. Donald Trump said it's a swamp land. That's true. Snakes is in the swamp. Not only snakes, but crocodiles, alligators, everything. And so you got these brothers and sisters that sold us out. They sold us out in the Million Man March. The Million Man March started off, to be a unity thing. But see, now Farrakhan was down with Warif Deen when Warif Deen took over the Nation of Islam. So there's a lot of trickery being played with black people. So it's time not to follow the leader now. We're going to do a series on this, what I'm talking about. I'm not going to stay long, but I'm going to be strong. I don't see how y'all could be a part of the system. How y'all could vote for politicians. It's nothing but a small model of Rome. You got your gladiators fighting for their freedom. Y'all think money is free. Y'all think money will buy you freedom. You can live like rich white folks. You can't mingle with them. I don't care how much money you got. You got to be, in order for you to mingle with them and be black, you got to be one of them kings over there in Africa sitting on a mountain of resources. What you sitting on over here, black man, black woman? You ain't got nothing to sit on. You the resource. You're a human resource. But they're getting so they don't need you no more. So they're calling in refugees, because the refugees will do the jobs that you don't want to do. Not refugees, but migrants. That's what they call them, migrants. They're bringing them over here. They'll work jobs you don't want to do for any amount of money, for the lowest amount of money you could pay somebody. And some of them is gangsters, and some of them is what they call terrorists. All the migrants that they are bringing over here. And y'all act like y'all sleepwalking. I know y'all don't want to hear me talk like this. Now, in the Bible, it tells you to come out of her. A lot of y'all don't, probably don't go to church, probably don't read the Bible. But it says that y'all think the Bible is contradictory. Well, you got King James Version. Now, King James had slaves when he wrote the Bible. He was a Christian. So we had to have Allah in the person of Master Farad Muhammad to get your mind straightened out from that Bible and tell you who your enemy is. And so he came over here, raised up the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught you how to eat to live. Why you think everybody want to be vegetarians now? Now it says that in the Bible. Matter of fact, in Leviticus, Allah tells the Caucasoid, he say, look, these are the foods you can eat. And on the top, on the list is, you can't eat swine. You don't supposed to be eating chicken. You don't supposed to be eating shrimp. He says, if you're going to eat meat, these are the best meats to eat. The lamb is at the top of the list. And then you got fish. But they jacking up the Japanese just dumped a whole lot of radioactive waste in the ocean. A lot of y'all ain't up on that. I ain't gonna go into it. Look it up. Anything you want is on YouTube. Now they didn't intend for this to happen. So that's why they gotta throw some BS on YouTube. Call it conspiracy theories. Because some of them is, what they put on YouTube is, that they say is a lie. It's a theory, or somebody trying to confuse you. That's why Allah came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad. So you won't get confused of who your enemy is, who the devil is, and who God is. But y'all so scary. I came up in a time here in Detroit where we kicked the Caucasian out of Detroit for 20 years. We had prosperity here too. We had the Motown. That's when the Motown sound came popular. The Motown sound came popular in the 60s. And then we had the first national Black-owned and operated television station and radio station, GPR. His name was Dr. Banks. Then we had Barton Cablevision. Then we had, what else we had? I was listening to a tape of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad when all of them came to, all the Black entrepreneurs and businessmen came to Detroit, came to Savior's Day, and he acknowledged them. We had brothers on WXYZ TV. We had brothers was in top position, man. We had took over Detroit. Then we had Mayor Young, who was the baddest black mayor that there ever was for 20 years. Now we got all these bourgeois brothers up in here. And Kwame Kilpatrick, he's the one that kind of blew that out. You understand? Because he wasn't down for his people. He was down for himself, but he wasn't down for his people. And he had all them Caucasians surrounding him anyway. And then they double crossed him. All it take is a double cross from them and whatever. Because you know, all the mayors, all your mayors and presidents, they be doing a whole lot of dirt. Just like Clinton. You know, Clinton was getting President Clinton and Monica Lewinsky was doing the do in the White House, and he got caught. He was a Democrat, and y'all voted for him. And the Quran and the Bible say the devil gonna come at you in your straight ways. So it don't matter what you call yourself. He gonna try to solicit you, Christian, Muslim, and if you weak, you gonna go for it. All this ain't nothing but a con game. You know, that's all a con game. I could use spiritual terminology and Bible terminology and everything, but I'm talking to you straight up like we at the bus stop having a conversation waiting on the bus to come, or we sitting around the living room just kicking some wisdom. You see what I'm saying? You know, I ain't on no platform like on the rostrum or nothing like that, because that's what they use this YouTube and this television to sway you. That's what the devil used. You know, he used sports. You know, get your mind off of ain't no money. Y'all don't care. Y'all still, you know, investing into your death. You know, he giving you a piece of paper with some pictures on it. It don't have no value. Now he telling you that Bitcoin, some electronic money, is what's happening. Now he's saying he gonna sell you back gold. Now let me ask you this: if the paper dollar is losing its value, and he's sitting on some gold, he want to sell you ounces of gold for $2,000. Well, what kind of sense do that make how is he getting money? He's selling his gold for paper money. And he say it's losing value. They say it ain't paper money, dollar bill ain't worth nothing but 3 cents. Now he gonna sell you $2,000 worth of gold for 3 cents. See, it's a con game, y'all, because it ain't real gold. I'm telling you, that's the only way he can do it. It ain't real gold. How you know what real gold is? You're not no expert on that, gold or silver. You know, he could make up something that looks like gold. Just like he could make a diamond. You know, put a price tag on it, you know, and you only one give it value is people. You know, you give it value, or he gives it value. It's a market, you know. But you can't eat gold. In the meantime, he's destroying your food industry, making food that's not real, that you think is real, plant-based food and all like that. You know, he could put anything he wants to on the label because the Food and Drug Administration has sold out. You just got to pay them to look the other way. He could sell you diseased cows. They'll look the other way. I know this to be true because I was in a school for meat cutters, and the instructor was giving the ghetto cancer cows. And we was young. See, I was about 21, and we had an older guy in the school, and he was going to open up a meat market. And by him being older than us, he knew more than we did. And while we was cutting on some meat, he seen something look like snot. Showed it to us, the class. He cut it out, wrapped it up. He said, "I'm gonna have this analyzed." This made the news here in Detroit. And the reporter that reported it was Woody Woodruff, And he interviewed us, and they fired the instructor and hired somebody else just like him. They, like the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, they the master of trickery. So all y'all gonna vote. And the Bible said, come out of her. If the Bible tells you to come out of her, you got to come out of her. In other words, come out that mindset. Don't buy into the trickery. The money is fake. They was using the petrodollar, but Africa is waking up. The brothers over there waking up. They're kicking the Caucasian out of America and England and France out of Africa. But you ain't kicking him out in your hearts. You're not kicking him out in your mind. You're not kicking him out. You over here buying into the trickery. What about Chicago? They got a black mayor, but he's bought off. What about New York? They got a black mayor, but he's bought off. And Detroit, all the black people is bought off. The Arabs that's over there in Dearborn, I don't know about the ones in Hamtramck. They got a Muslim mayor in Hamtramck. Arabs, they mad about the Gaza Strip. Now is the time and opportunity for you to come out of her. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what you got in you if you be righteous. Right now, you living other than righteous. Ain't nobody saying you can be perfect. Righteous ain't perfect. Righteous is something that will make you perfect if you practice righteousness. Because if you practice righteousness, righteousness will draw in the electromagnetic force that will bring you into the mind on that radio frequency that God is on, that Allah is on. And the air you breathe is a conduit of that frequency. You can manifest whatever you want in a thought. You can manifest it. Long as it's righteous. And if it ain't righteous, you're destroying yourself. You eventually will destroy yourself, your offsprings, But if it's righteous, you'll live in righteousness, and so will your offsprings, your grandchildren, your children. will live in righteousness and will live. There's no limits on how long you will live. Your offsprings and your bloodline, your seed, black man, will live a long time. But you can't follow in after the devil, after those that are unrighteous, and expect to be righteous. It don't matter who you know about them being black, because they, by this time, a lot of black people was around when Elijah Muhammad was living. Some of them older than me, some of them younger than me. And they're not leading you right. So we're gonna how many of you like to play chess? We're gonna give you some strategy. You hear the brother say this is not checkers, it's chess. It's chess, not checkers. This is the king. This is the queen. This is the king. And the queen. See, they got that cross up there? We're going to break that cross and put a star and a crescent right there. That represents the universe. This right here, this cross represents confusion. Double cross. You heard of the double cross and the triple cross? We've been double crossed, triple crossed. It's time for our resurrection now. We were laying down horizontal. Now it's time for us to rise up vertical. Jesus' justice. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad say Jesus' justice. Jesus represents, that word Jesus means justice. That's the boat that they brought us over here on, the ship Jesus. We were tricked. They used technology on us to get us over here. But once they got us over here, they used force, pain, and torture, and terror to keep us over here. Now we can't, we don't want to leave, but we don't want to stay either. And the Caucasian is making his move, the final move, so he could last for about 600 years, because Allah says that he's coming. Now he's coming under the name of Jesus. He's here, rather. I can't say he's coming. He's been here, but he's getting ready to massacre the unrighteous. And at first he started off gradual. Now it's speeding up. You used to have one tornado, maybe two tornadoes, but now you got 5 and 6, and they big, man. They be 5 miles wide, covering almost the whole country. Then it's heat waves. Now, he says it's global warming. But this young brother named Born Master Man Allah says the Sirius sun. They've been talking about, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad been talking about the Sirius sun, called it the red star and the blue star for a long time. And you got to look at this brother's video born mastermind Allah breaking it down. But see, y'all not spreading the word. You know, y'all look at how many numbers people got. All they got to do is say, who killed Tupac? They got 1 million views right there. All they got to do is talking about, will Puffy go to jail? You got 1 million views. In the meantime, your enemy is playing tricks on you, setting you up, trapping you. And you keep going around in circles. Now let me tell you something about chess. The object of chess is to get to the king. The queen got more movement than the king. The king is confined to move only one space at a time, no matter if it's frontwards, backwards, sideways. He can only move one space at a time. The queen can move up, down the board. Now that's the black woman. Every time you turn on TV now, you see the black woman doing commercials, doing in politics. She's the head of the house now. The black woman is the head of the house now. The king is confined. He can't move. So the black woman, she's up and down the board trying to protect her king. You know. But in reality, she's compromised. The bishop represents the preachers. He's been compromised. The preacher got the black woman. I bet there's more women go to church than it is guys. You know. So they got to the preachers, the bishops, the popes and everything. Not the popes, but the pope is the head of the Christian church. Yeah, the pope is the head of the Christian church. And they compromised him, and he compromised the sisters. The sisters is worse than the white Jesus. You should see how they run the Biden. You go somebody that's jacked up. They don't like Trump, but they think Biden is cool because he was down with Obama. Obama wasn't cool. You know. But anyway, y'all think he was cool. Y'all are trapped in the mind. Y'all locked in the mind. Y'all mind is froze. You can't get out of the mindset of the devil. Look at it like this. Those people, Caucasians, had to come out of that area that they were living in, because the land that they were living in, you couldn't grow so much. You could only grow so much vegetation, and if you can only grow so much vegetation, you can only feed so much livestock. And they had to go to a place of abundance of resources. And they had diseases all over there. They had syphilis, they had the black plague, the red plague, a whole bunch of kind of diseases. Black people didn't have that. because we had uh, knowledge to heal yourself or to heal others without any instruments. We could use our hand, or we could use our breath, or we could eat a certain herb to heal ourselves. Now, we was on the earth long before the white man came on the earth, you know, and he tells you he was a caveman. And he was filthy as a caveman. He lost his language. He lost knowledge of self too. He was among us, the righteous, but he couldn't be righteous. So in the Bible, they tell him, you say, he listened to the serpent. His wife listened to the serpent. Now that has layers of truth to it, and many layers meaning to it. He listened to the serpent. He went against the word of God, and God kicked him out. God never did invite him back either, did he? He said, you can't. He said, you can't come back here, man. You know. So he put a time limit on him. He only got so much time before he will self-disintegrate. He wants to take you, black men, with him. He said, I ain't going by myself. I'm going to take y'all niggas with me. And he's doing it. They done woke up over in Africa. They done woke up, they waking up around the planet. Except over here. You know, you the last people to act like you got some sense. And you keep buying into the same language, you keep buying into the same thing. So what's gonna happen? All this is coming to a head, this election. You've been democracy means dictatorship. When you look at the root word, it's a Greek word, Greek word, and the politics is set up like the Greeks. You know, the Greeks, they had a bad case of homosexuality. What's that guy name? They call him Nimrod in the Bible. But history, the white man's history, called him Alexander the Great. He went over there and conquered parts of Egypt and took all the library, put them in a building called the Alexandria. It was a city named after Alexander, aka Nimrod. They don't teach you this history like that. Y'all ain't worried about that. Y'all trying to get that debt dollar. Now, how did it become a debt dollar in the beginning? Because the Rothschilds bought off the Congress back in 1910 for them to make a world bank called the Federal Reserve. and Congress gave them the right to print up money. But in 19 what was it 1933, Roosevelt, if you had any gold, you had to turn it in. You could look all this up. What I'm saying, y'all got to quit being so lazy and start studying. You know, if you want things to turn around, you the ones that got to turn it around. You ain't got to go. We ain't got to go to no war. You know, with the white man. All we got to do is get some knowledge in our head and stick together. Ain't no money, man. So you can't let money divide you. You know. I'm gonna get ready to end it, but I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say it like this. I'm gonna come back with some more. I want you to observe the weather. You know, all the damage that the weather is causing is killing people too. Now this is dipping into the Federal Reserve's pockets. You know, plus over in Africa they rejecting the Federal Reserve printing up money. They printing up their own money over there in Africa. Can we print up, money here? Black man? Because see, they're getting ready to switch over to a card. Gonna be sometime this year too. They've been experimenting with this card. Most of y'all get paid in cards. Y'all don't get paid with checks. A lot of y'all don't get paid with checks and very seldom with dollars. So, anytime you go to electronics, you have to depend on electricity to make sure that plug don't get pulled, or make sure you don't get a surge. Make sure that the plants or the power towers don't get blowed up, to keep that electricity come, so you can get on the internet to see how much money you got. But not now you getting paid with machines now. You go to pay a bill, light bill, they got machines you put your money into. Suppose something happened to that machine and the electricity get turned off. And y'all just go along. Man, it won't happen if the majority, see, another thing, democracy means majority rule. So if you got a stupid majority, you're going to just do some stupid things. So every time you see something that seems like a whole lot of people down with it, they got 1 million views. How if that's right, if it's righteous, because y'all just like y'all like fairy tales, and y'all like to be hypnotized and paralyzed in your mind. And then y'all know y'all do. Y'all fall in love with how the guy look, how the girl look. Y'all don't understand, y'all don't dig what they saying. Most of the time people be talking double talk. Take like your pimp. See, I grew up around gangsters, pimps, as well as people trying to be righteous, well as the FOI. My uncle and them used to run with Malcolm. So I know the street game, street life, and I know the righteous life. I'm choosing righteousness because righteous have more power. I can tell you, I can think a thing now and visualize it. The more righteous I get, the more purified my thoughts are. The way I eat, you know, uh, the more righteous I get, the more I get in tune to that God frequency. And sometimes I can manifest something in a hurry, you know, and sometimes it might take months or years. Depends on how focused I am on righteousness. So I try to wake up with God on my mind and my mind on God all the time. And see, every prayer, every thought is a prayer. So you ain't really got to make no ritual out of it, you know. And you don't need to make the same prayer over and over again, because if your thoughts is righteous, you could just think it and tune in on that frequency. Now your body is full of electricity, magnetic electricity. You got the solar plex, you know, your spinal cord, you know, your DNA is that of the creator of the heavens and the earth. You're the offspring, you know. So it's y'all don't get taught like what I'm teaching you. Y'all get taught that when you die, you're gonna go to heaven. Let it, everything gonna work all right. And Jesus coming back. Jesus then came with Master Farad Muhammad. And he taught the Honorable Elijah Muhammad how to tune in on it. They be tuning in on each other. Master Farad and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. You know? Now he took a drunken guy, poor guy, and made a nation of righteous. Now all of them weren't righteous. People join the Nation of Islam for different reasons. But they was moving in the right direction. But who I concentrate on now is Allah, because he's still living. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad say Master Farad will live 400 years. And I don't think it's been no 400 years. But I think that he's causing the weather. He could tune in on your thoughts and make you do things that you ordinarily would not do. Allah speaks through men, you know. Now he came over here by himself to Detroit. He came to Detroit in 1930. And from that one person came many. Now, the white man, when he came from England over here, he had a thought in his mind to build a world. He called it manifest destiny. That was from Yaqub. Yakub was a black scientist. And by any means necessary, he was gonna get what he needed to survive. But the only game he knew was technology. He didn't have the power, to tune in on you. Although he's coming up on it quick. While we sleeping, he learning. Don't forget he got all our books that was over in Alexandria, that's over in the Vatican now, on how to do certain things, how to make formulas and tune in, you know. And so we over here, through your crooked brothers and sisters, you can't blame it all on the Arabs. There was some blacks that was crooked too. Some of the Moors weren't cool. They gave some knowledge to the Crusaders that wasn't supposed to be. But it was supposed to be, but they didn't have no business giving it to them. But like I say, it was a manifest destiny, that brought all this up down, So it's the devil against Allah. Artificial intelligence against original intelligence. Divine, put it like this, organized crime versus divine order. Divine order is how your body is being harmonized. Once you get out that order, you in organized crime. And so we got so many brothers and sisters selling us out. So many Arabs selling us out, Chinese selling us out. You can't trust nobody but yourself. So I say it like this, I'm a temple in the Nation of Islam. Because I house the temple of God. But my body is the temple in a nation of Islam. We're not a physical nation yet. We're a spiritual nation. Because we blew the chance that we have we was beginning to be a physical nation with our own currency. We had our own banks. We was getting ready to get our own hospitals. We had our own schools. We had our own farms, a way to eat. We was getting up on the resources. We was dealing with the righteous brothers and sisters over there in Africa, but y'all blowing it. Now y'all mad because the migrants is coming over here, and over there in Chicago, they really getting punished. Detroit is temple number one, and we made a little bit more progress than the nation, even though Detroit ran Master Farad and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad away, but we temple number one. The supreme book, Supreme Wisdom, is written for Michigan, number one Michigan. So all you righteous brothers that want to be righteous, living in Detroit and anywhere else in Michigan, if you don't want to be fuel for the fire, you're going to have to do some work, man. You know, all them, I was watching the Channel 7 news. You know, all them ignorant Negroes with Biden, man. We shouldn't vote. Your vote is for Allah, Master Farad Muhammad. That's what your vote is for. And all them brothers, you know, that don't understand that, you know, I understand you. I was going to talk about the pimps and how y'all young brothers using the black woman. You know, y'all not just using the black woman, y'all using any woman y'all can to get that dollar. You know, she all out in front. You supposed to be protecting her. So if you got pawns, you got a little army. See, the pawns is part of your army. And then you got the knights. That's part of your army. Then you got your guards, the rooks in the castle. You're supposed to be protecting your black woman and providing for her. You're not supposed to have her out there risking her life, risking her just so you could be the sharpest nigga in the world, so you could be rolling in your grip is the baddest grip in the world, just so people could look what he got. You know, no man, you're supposed to be getting resources. You're supposed to be a conqueror. Conquer yourself, man. You're supposed to be protecting your woman. Look at them guys over at Arabs over there, so-called Arabs over there in Gaza. They can't protect their children and wife, man, because they was depending on somebody else to give them. Now it ain't like, you know, it ain't like they were over there, the Palestinians and all those people over there in their own land. Then the Rothschilds gonna invent a place called Israel, buy off the UN, you know, they run the money, see, and put it over there. They got the money to make weapons, you know, the money to employ scientists to invent and do anything they wanted to come up with. And they buying them off, see. And he bought off all the world banks, all the courts, world courts, the judges, they bought off, you know. And they showed you this, the reason why they had Trump on trial. They bought off all the Trump stuff. So all this is a play. You know, it's a play. They buying off, they done bought off everybody. But the Palestinians, they fell for that. You know, we could all live together. You know, no man, y'all can't all live together. Not with these devils. So the pimps and the players, you know, they ain't got nothing. You know, they done built the world for themselves. Don Magic Wand, he the god of their world. He organized the pimps. And they built the pimp world and the whole world for themselves. Just like the Caucasian built a devil world for himself. He had to kill up on millions of people, and he's still killing them up to get what he want. He want to go over there in Africa, you know, get the resources he need for his technology. He need these resources, various resources that is in abundance or it's the only one of his kind over there in Africa. You know, Africa is a Greek word. It's not an African word. I mean, you know, it's not a. We didn't make that word up. That's white man made that word. It's a Greek word, named after a Greek guy. You know, Asiatic is the word. Is is, is our word. Asia. That's our word. The whole planet Earth was called Asia. Anyway, even Jesus in Revelation, he said to the church that's in Asia. He didn't say Africa. He didn't say Europe. He said Asia. So y'all got to learn how to put two and two together, man. So I thought I'd come on, you know, on line because they took me off, put me in YouTube prison, you know, for 3 months because they said in one of my earlier videos, previous videos, I was talking about the protocols of the learned elders of Zion. And they say I was talking hate speech, you know. Man, you know, if y'all shut me down, y'all shut me down, you know. See, I ain't spending no money buying expensive studios just to speak on YouTube, expensive cameras, expensive mics. I'm trying to save money, man. Matter of fact, I turned off my television for a day or two. Save light bills. You know, uh, I don't play lotto. You know, I try to drive as less places as possible. If it ain't in my route, you know, forget about it. You know, I don't need to cruise up and down the avenue. I done did that already. Ain't nothing happening on the avenue. Same old thing, you know, same old, same old. Brothers hustling, selling dope, hoes, turning tricks. You know, y'all ain't building nothing, no. All them empty buildings, rundown buildings, the what you call them, migrants, or they gonna put them in there. You know, vacant buildings, vacant schools and stuff. You know, uh, they're coming from L.A. and Florida back to Detroit. You know, and see that's what messed us up. When we had that riot, we We ran them out of Detroit for 20 years. Hudson's left. A whole lot of big department stores left. Sears left Detroit, went to Northland, Eastland, Westland, out of Detroit. And Detroit started falling apart because the brothers, they don't know how to manage nothing. They don't know how to do nothing but sell dope. You know. Now you got a army full of dope fiends. You can't fight. Y'all too high to fight. If you're not a dope fiend, you're alcoholic, homosexual, or you're in jail, or you're about to die with some kind of disease. That's your mind, man. That ain't, you can't blame that on nobody now. That's your own mind. Now the white man put you in this condition, but you don't mean you have to stay. You don't have to accept it. You know. I mean, I stopped doing all my negative activities. You know, all my unrighteousness. I'm still working on it. You know, I stopped. I got out that street mentality. You know, you can too. But if you know somebody that's like that, there ain't no excuse, man. And I still see some brothers, 90 years old, going to play the lotto. You know, I still see brothers, you know, trying to be a pimp, trying to mac. You know, y'all giving money right back to your enemy. All them expensive clothes you buy, that's your enemy. In the Nation of Islam, the sisters used to make, my mom used to make clothes. And they used to be bad too. My father went to tailoring school. They used to make gabardine suits, the pants and the shirt, made out of gabardine. They had stitches around the collar, stitches around the pocket, cuff pants leg. Be some nice colors, man. You know, it was the brother used to make, we used to call them Peter Pan shirts with the long collar. It was a brother that came up with that. You know, we made our own clothes back in the 60s, man. Just like some of them tie-dye. We'd have thought of that back in the 60s, man. You know, tie-dye, blue jeans with the holes in the knees and all like that. We made a style out of that. And the white man came and charged you $1 million for it, for some old jeans that we did. You know, old ass suits, you know, that our grandfathers wore. You know, we used to wear, that's the kind of suits that they wearing now. You know, but the legs wasn't that tight though. So you can't wear stuff too tight, man. Cut off your circulation and it'll make you sterile, brothers. You know, your groins gotta be in a loose fit. You know, y'all don't know this. See, there ain't nobody teaching y'all this. And if a brother that's got a temple, if you ain't trying to get some land and nothing, ain't no sense in saying you a nation. You know, you just using the Nation of Islam for a hustle. You know, people know that the word of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad is true, they know this. So, but y'all ain't doing nothing with it. We at least got to get back to the farms, you know. But maybe Allah want us to just to be righteous. And the brothers could go on a fast for a week without eating. Jesus went on a fast for 40 days and 40 nights without eating it. And the devil tried to tempt him. Maybe we don't need to eat. Maybe we don't need to sleep. Because we the original Asiatic people of the planet Earth. God of the universe. But we don't know it. And we don't show it. But now is the time to resurrect yourself, because the white man's world is collapsing. He can't hold it up no more. You know, you just recognize and see what's going on. Every time he put a disease on us, it gets him too. You know, but he don't reproduce himself like we do. His rate of reproducing himself, his birth rate, is almost at a standstill. But we keep on multiplying. Even though we dying, we still multiplying. And, you know, it ain't about voting, all y'all getting together and vote. Y'all, that's why he keeps you divided. Because you're never going to see things the same way. You got a lot of brothers wanting to vote for Trump. You got a lot of brothers voting for Biden. Both of them gangsters, both of them crooks. They got young Biden on trial now. And the Senate is investigating his old man, Trump. You know, everybody say he looks senile. You know, I think he a dope fiend too, myself. Because at certain times he come alive. And then certain times they sedate him. So he be on a drug that get you geeked up, and then he be on a drug that bring you down. That sounds like girl and boy. Y'all don't call it girl and boy no more, do you? Cocaine and heroin and pills, jumpers. You know, I think he be high myself. You know. Or he got a clone. Yeah, he might have a clone. He might have a lookalike. When they want the lookalike to come out, you know, because his facial features do change when you look at him. You know. So anyway, y'all got to wake up, man. Make your own clothes. Or take them to somebody that know how to make clothes. Make your own designs. You know. Y'all got to learn how to build buildings. Work on, go and rehab these old buildings. You got to open up a school. See, we got old cats. We got old construction workers that know. We got guys that know how to build buildings. We got guys that know how to design, black people that know how to design buildings. We got black people that know all about nutrition and health. We got black people, electricians, that know all about computers. We got teachers, brilliant teachers. We got historians. We got biologists. We got all that in the black community, but y'all want to just work for the crooked government. You don't want to work for your own people. You don't want to build a school, all these empty buildings around here. Make a school for and a factory for solar panels. Make a school and a factory for solar panels. A combined thing, a school and a factory. Make, and then because when the electricity go down, you know, you can use those solar panels. Make let's see, make a fish, make fish farms that's safe. Don't make no catfish though. Bible say don't eat catfish, fish like catfish without scales. Don't, them are bottom feeders. But bass and that might be good to eat. Make a farm for that. Farm that. In Michigan, we got all the fresh water in the world. We got a whole lot of things in Michigan that they know about. Now they're gonna try to poison the water to drive you out or to kill you. They know where it's safe to through the pipes. They haven't the inner structure. They haven't worked on that. The pipes for 100 years. I think that happened in St. Louis or was it where was that at? Where they had problems with the pipes at? Carolina. I think it was in the Carolinas. One of them, And they're not working on it. They're letting everything deteriorate. They're sending all your money over to Israel and the Gaza Strip. And y'all gonna vote for Biden? The ones that's telling you to do that, they're getting paid. They work for the government. They don't work for you. And y'all can't see that. Don't vote for nobody. Stay at home. Figure out a way to get off the grid. Solar panels. Don't keep the radio on. Plant food in your backyard. If you're in an apartment building, put it in pots. Get off of eating meat if you can. If you're going to eat meat, eat the best meat. Milk used to be cool, but it ain't cool no more. You don't need me. You don't really necessarily don't need me. Get them young girls off them formulas. Make them breastfeed. Depend on yourself, man. And ain't no sense of you going to the temple and the temple ain't trying to do nothing, ain't got no plan, ain't got no. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad had an economical plan so we could feed ourselves. You got a lot of black farmers now. They ain't worried about building a supermarket in the inner city and shipping they product to the inner city. They worry about getting in the big grocery stores, white man's grocery stores. They could build, the farmers could get together, build grocery stores in Detroit, and then ship their product here in Detroit. Make real watermelons. We don't need to be eating no seedless watermelons. That ain't real. That's artificial. See, he trying to turn us into artificial people like him, because he artificial. He not real. He not the original. So he artificial. So it's a lot that we can do. I was talking to some brothers and some sisters the other day that don't want, I'm trying to get them to unite. They don't want to unite. They mad at each other about something somebody did. A lot of times it be all about the money, A whole lot of brothers invested in that drug Pfizer, on the stock market. They don't care how many people it kill or what. They don't know nothing about it, but they invested in it. We just care about, ourselves. But God made us black, made them white for a reason, And blackness is where it's at. Because we got the melanin. And it's been proven time and time again that melanin is a chemical or a substance in us that's very powerful. Now combine that with righteousness. That's why we the Asiatic black man. Cream of the planet and God of the universe. So I had to come back to you and let you know where my mind is at. Trying to convince you, you ain't gotta believe me. But I'll never get 1 million views, because you got too many silly people. And then you got the white man. Now some of them trying to be, righteous. I can't say all of them like that. But they still can't get with me. I don't trust you. After 400 or 500 years of what you've been doing, what I've seen you do all over the world, what you're doing now, especially, man. You making some dope fiend moves with that fentanyl. Talking about it's killing so many Americans. Didn't nobody twist their arms and made them take it. You're taking it at your own risk. You can't trust nothing that's on the market now. Nothing. So I'm trying to think of what I want to. There's one more thing I want to say, but I'm gonna say it to this right here. All you young ones, if there's anybody under 30 years old, if you're around 18, they sent a letter to my grandson. I got a grandson that's I think he's about 19 or 20. The military. They told him to register with the military. It used to be a volunteer army. But they sent him a letter twice. Go down to the military service and register. I don't know if he did it or not, but I hope he did. The only way we're going to get to heaven is we don't fall for the tricks of the devil. I know you don't want to wait till you die. And you don't want to get too old before you realize that you are the original people of the planet Earth. That means that you was back there. Your DNA goes all the way back to the originator of everything. So the ancestors are with you already. You don't need to pray. You just need to tune into your DNA. That's all you got to do. Your mother you got your mama's DNA. You got your daddy's DNA. He had his daddy's DNA. My mother had her mama's DNA, her daddy's DNA. Keep on going back and back to the originator, man. You got powers in you, but you don't know how to use them. When you look up yoga, and when you look up Qigong, that's all Islam. Just different departments, different segments, but it's all talking about the breath, though. And the Bible said God breathed into him the breath, and of life, and he became a living soul. I'm not saying it verbatim, but some along those lines. The breath also translate the spirit. The word inspire and expire. It's all talking about the breath. Or inspiration, which is also breath. Man and woman. And the Bible says, man, woman, the man is the head of the house. And God is the head of man. The crown chakra, where vibrations and the wave of Allah, the wave of God, Allah is at the top. Then the family, man, woman, and child. Right now, Most of our men are in jail, homosexual. God said, be fruitful and multiply. Two men can't be fruitful and multiply. Two women can't be fruitful and multiply. If you put two men on an island and they homosexual, so you got an island full of homosexuals, men homosexual. How long you think they would live? After that, there wouldn't be no more men on that island. The oldest one or the youngest one, after he die out, that's it. That's what it means living forever. As long as you're in divine order with the laws of nature, the laws of Allah, life in man will live forever. Two women was on the island, a whole island full of women, 100 women on the island. No men. When the youngest one is gone, that's it. No more life on that island. So you're in the land of the free, the home of the cave. You're free to do anything that you wanted to do, like it was when you was in that cave, white man. Black man, you don't want to be like that. You want to live in divine order with Allah at the top of your head. So you got Allah on your mind and your mind on Allah all the time. And woman, right now I know that you don't put too much worth in the black man. He don't put too much worth in himself. So you say, I'm gonna do this all myself. I really don't need him. I'm gonna do my thing. He gonna do his thing. Nah. You gotta have trust in your man. But you just gotta pick the right one. First you gotta think right, act right, if you want your man to be right. You attract to you. Well, you're gonna be attracted to the right one. If he's doing right, you're gonna be attracted to the right one, like a magnet. But you gotta be right. Like I say, if you want paradise, while you're alive, can't nobody make you happy. You make your own self happy. by thinking the right thoughts. If you think right, you can get rid of diseases. Let's look at that word, disease. Dis-ease. Dis-ease. You're not at ease with yourself. No matter what happened to you. Now Allah came in the person of Master Farah Muhammad. He forgave the black man because he was made in the image of the devil. But the process of the devil making the black man in his image, he used torture, pain. Y'all see Roots. He made you denounce your name. He named Kunta Kinte Toby. He said your name is Toby, not Kunta Kinte. Kunta Kinte had to lose a foot before he started saying Toby. And black man, can you protect your woman? Can you protect your children? So far, you haven't been doing it. Let me tell you about myself. I was taught in the Nation of Islam that my word is my bond. I will give my life before my word shall fail. I am an FOI soldier in the Nation of Islam. My duty is to unite my people, black people, and protect the women and children of my nation. I will perform my duty faithfully, regardless to whom or what. My life and my death are all for Allah. I will be loyal and obedient to the supreme being, Allah, in the person of Master Farah Muhammad. In authority over me, to him and him alone, I submit my will to do his will, the Lord of all the worlds and master of this day of judgment. The black woman and black man, if you unite as one, be in harmony, with nature and Allah, you will see paradise together. Not when you die, but now. And in the hereafter. When the whole world is transformed to the paradise and the garden, the Almighty Supreme Being, Lord of the universe. will would be done on earth as it is in heaven. And Allah is taking care of business right now to make sure that's gonna happen. All you got to do is tune up. This is your brother Black Light, a brother like no other, with the flavor of the Savior and the kind of knowledge you won't get in college. From the land of Nod to the kingdom of God, it's prime time to rise and shine. All black people, the ones over in Africa, so-called Africa, all the countries over there, brothers and sisters over there in Hades, South America, Caribbeans, brothers and sisters here in the United States. Let's unite, man, into divine order. Do you hear me, Detroit? We're walking on sacred ground in Detroit. Do you know the word Detroit is a French word, but in English, it means straight. Yeah, look it up. Assalamu alaikum.